What is going on, my Houston Texans family? Welcome back to the 713 Houston Sportcast. I am your host, Ruben Calvillo. You could also find me on Believe in the Houston Texans on Spotify. We do a great job of a podcast there. Today, we will be discussing who were the top 5 Houston Texans last year. And in a year where you only win 3 games, no one is watching you, right? And if you did watch all 17 games, if you know the players I'm about to talk about, well, shout out to you. We saw a lot of the fake fans disappear from this fan base, and now they're starting to pop up again. But do not forget where you were all season. We are H-Town till we drown over here. I drop daily Houston Texans content. Also, follow me on Twitter at 713HSP. Now, the top 5 Houston Texans at number 5. Old man Jerry Hughes coming in from Buffalo. We were very excited, but not expecting a lot from Jerry Hughes, a guy who doesn't really get sacks. However, turned it up this year. 9 sacks, the most he's had in the past 7 seasons. Jerry Hughes was the bright spot of this defensive line, and we were only expecting him to be a veteran presence, yet he burst onto the scene against Indy. Do not forget that first game, a huge sack right before halftime, an interception also. We just couldn't close it out, and that was got you excited about addition of veterans like Jerry Hughes. And he continued his play on through the whole season. He is back one more year. Excited to see a year 2 of veteran Jerry Hughes. Does he get another 9 sacks? I'm not too sure, but I am encouraged by what I saw and looking forward, to next year. At number 4, he could be a little bit higher, but rookie Jalen Petrie, 147 tackles, 5 interceptions, 8 pass defense. Now, his rookie season was up and down. Coming out of Baylor, we were all excited about him. Shout out to my friend Cody Johnson, who was just letting us know that this dude was an absolute baller, and he lived up to the expectation, right? I thought he was going to be rookie defensive player of the year. The fact that he wasn't even in the conversation is absolutely criminal. Jalen Petrie is going to be an all-pro Pro Bowler safety for this team. DeMeco Ryans is going to bring the best out of him. And when you draft players from the H, man, he is from Houston. He just only put on. And why I put him at 4? Because his season started out okay. It got really bad. Then it got really, really good. And I like Jalen Petrie, what he did in his rookie year. Excited to see his sophomore season with the Houston Texans. At number 3, this was a bright spot and a surprise. But free agent Steven Nelson was absolutely locked down for you this year. 1 interception, 7 pass defense, graded in the 72s on PFF. This secondary was finally one of the bright spots of this Houston Texans team, and you couldn't say that, the past 3-4 years. When Derek Stingley went down, it was Steven Nelson who stepped up. It was Steven Nelson who took the number 1 wide receiver. We knew coming from Philly that he was going to be a potential high-end number 2 corner, low-end number 1. Well, he did just that for the Houston Texans. Steven Nelson bought out. It was his first year. This is his second year with Houston. Excited to see what he does going in a year 2 with DeMeco Ryans, I might say. At number 2, it is rookie Damian Pierce. And some people might say, well, why don't you have him at number 1? 936 yards, 1 touchdown. Go country boy, go. Actually, I think it was 4 touchdowns. Let me go ahead and be quite sure. Go country boy, go. You saw his angry run against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Damian Pierce, when he was drafted out of Florida, everyone said this is going to be a steal for the Houston Texans, and he just lived up to that expectation, right? And in the preseason, in his game against the Saints, it was, yes, he is already the best running back on the team. Why didn't he start against the Indianapolis Colts? And with that being said, Damian Pierce is number 2 on my list. Excited to see what he can do in his sophomore season behind a potentially a much better offensive line. And at number 1, it is Lerman Tunsil, who only allowed 1 sack, the best left tackle in the NFL. He got snubbed for All-Pro, great in the passing game. Some people had concerns if he could run block really well, and he excelled in that this year. Took a huge jump with offensive line coach George Warhop, and with Lerman Tunsil, who is looking to be paid the highest left tackle in the NFL. He's only $3 to $4 million off. Lerman Tunsil was absolutely worth that for the Houston Texans, and that is a building block for this franchise. All of these guys, except for, Steven Nelson and Jerry Hughes, the two veterans, I say. The rest, Jalen Petrie, Dameon Pierce, and Lerman Tunsil, are building blocks and bright spots. All five of these guys were just diamonds in the rough this year for the Houston Texans, and excited to see what they do next year with the new coaching staff and just a new vibe around this team. You guys let me know how you feel about my top 5. As always, go Houston. You guys have a very blessed day.